Okay, we will begin with public comment. Do we have any cards from the public? There's one in the back. And you'll be given 3 minutes. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ken Elliott. I'm with the Transit Workers Union and our the Greenlight Pinellas committee member that was formed by our union. These are my opinions and thoughts. PSTA, and this is in regard to what was on Channel 10 the other evening, providing Homeland Security and stuff like that. PSTA has nothing to hide. Clearly stated in every video and bus wrap is that these videos and wraps were paid for in part by a grant from Homeland Security. PSTA paid additional for the right to tell viewers how they're trying to improve transit by inviting viewers to visit greenlight.com at the end of every video. There are 2 phases to the DHS grant. Channel 10 compared the videos PSTA made to Phase 1, when actually the videos are related to Phase 2. Phase 2, which was for $439,500, develops and implements a mass media campaign to further promote public awareness of security issues related to public transportation. The security issues PSTA shared in the videos are as followed. In one of the videos, Margaret and Victor, PSTA shared that they know PSTA can take them where they want to go and get them there safely. PSTA has professional bus operators and was recognized for having one of the best security programs in the nation. In the second video, about Eva, PSTA cares about her time and her security. She can use her phone to check real-time bus information to see where her bus is and when it will arrive. And in the third video for Philip, it says that he knows that PSTA is not only protecting the environment with our hybrid buses, he knows PSTA is providing him with a safe and secure bus service. That was covered by Phase 2 of the grant. Phase 1 of the grant covers the basics of the Transit Watch program, which is what PSTA uses for security classes for drivers, promotional materials, and onboard announcements for patrons. Like when patrons are riding a bus, you will hear an announcement come on, that'll say, if you see anything suspicious, please notify the bus operator. Educating the public in that aspect. And I would like to say that none of the promotional materials that were paid for, in part from Homeland Security, tells voters to vote yes for Greenlight Pinellas. None of it does. I would also like to add my opinion that I feel that the future of public transit here in Pinellas is under attack from Tea Party interests. And I feel these boondoggle investigations do not serve the best interests of the people here in Pinellas. They only serve the Tea Party minority who are against public transportation. What I have here, this is thrown together at the last minute. I didn't have time to make, 20 copies?
That's fine.
You could just pass these down. These are pictures of some of our bus wraps for our advertisements, where a gentleman says, I can have a safe and secure ride aboard PSTA. Or the lady holding up her phone saying, security is knowing when my bus is going to arrive. And it clearly states on these buses, paid for, in part, with a grant from Homeland Security. PSTA isn't hiding anything. And these buses have been on the road for months. Those videos, okay.
I'm going to have to.
Absolutely, I understand.
Your time is out. We appreciate your comments. Brad sent out an email to the board yesterday. I hope everyone received it speaking to this issue. Let me ask first, do we have any other members of the public who wish to speak?
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you very much, sir. Brad, I know you've got some comments prepared speaking to this item.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
I made a copy of the board action item from 2011 that is at your places. It's a consent item that is entitled Emergency Awareness and Response Strategies Marketing Program. Mr. Elliott was just referring to a news story that ran 2 days ago by Channel 10's attesting that PSTA had misused a grant that we had got from the Federal Department of Homeland Security for marketing that paid for television ads and those bus wraps that Mr. Elliott is passing around. on a campaign that basically lasted for about 6 months during 2013 and is now over. The complaint actually arose from Dr. David McCaleb, who wrote a piece about it on his blog a couple months ago. And then this was a follow-on story. Again, and the argument was that Department of Homeland Security funds should be spent on bombs and terrorism threats and not on public transit or more positive advertising, even if it has a message of safety and security. PSTA has a long-standing positive relationship with the Department of Homeland Security. We have received more than $2.5 million in DHS grants. DHS grants funded almost $2 million worth of fencing and cameras at the PSTA facility. And then this grant, the PSTA applied for just about 4 years ago, and then the board approved the contract on December 14th, 2011, was for just one part of the overall DHS funding, but it came in 2 parts, and I just want to highlight that because in the news articles and in Dr. McCaleb's piece, there's misinformation about what funds were used to fund those ads. If you look at the first page of the consent item, you can see there's something called Phase 1 and Phase 2. The grant was broken up into 2 pieces. In fact, PSTA applied for both of them. The wording in this resolution by the board was lifted right out of the grant application and right out of what DHS approved. You can see Phase 1, which is what the Channel 10 article highlighted during the ad, required PSTA to develop marketing materials that say, and I circled it just this morning, which encourage transit patrons to alert authorities if they see anything suspicious. Okay, that's what the news article said the ads were supposed to do, and obviously they didn't, and so that's what the article was about. However, this was not the phase that paid for the TV ads. This was a different phase, and we produced a brochure, which I gave to the reporter, and he had, when he did the piece. That's what was funded under this. This clearly was intended for mostly first responder organizations. We passed out a brochure that said if you see something, sort of a standard see something, say something thing.
So the brochure was funded from Phase 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told the reporter, and what actually happened was the television ads and the bus wraps were funded in part by Phase 2. Phase 2. And I've circled what the Department of Homeland Security approved the spending of those funds for. A mass media campaign to further promote public awareness of security issues related to public transportation, which is what those ads do. So again, I know there were some follow-on stories yesterday that were expressing some concern that we had not spent the money according to Homeland Security, and so I sent that email out to you all. I just wanted to provide that clarification. We can answer any questions.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate the explanation. An accusation, as we know, is not a fact. And we had an accusation in terms of the FDOT funding for Greenlight. And the inquiry showed that we were not only in compliance, but we went above and beyond in terms of complying with all rules. So some of you are my Facebook friends, some are not. Y'all have seen this. Keep calm and support Greenlight. Keep calm so the audience sees it. For those of us who've been in campaigns, this is going to happen all the way through November. There are going to be accusations. There'll be misinformation from folks that are not willing to look at this fairly. They're going to use every tactic that they have to defeat this, and we ought to be prepared for it. Other questions for Brad? Commissioner Newton?
I just want to say the beauty of democracy is everybody gets to vote. Everybody will get a vote. Everybody will get to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Newton. Commissioner Barkley?
Have we done anything about getting Channel 10 to publish a retraction on this?
My thought, and the floor is open for thoughts, is let's not, I wouldn't pursue it.
Okay.
Mr. Deeson is not alone. Many stations have a person that specializes in finding what they call government excess. And they don't report stories about good government. I mean, there are 1,000 stories you could support about PSTA and the good things we're doing. To try to pursue that, I've never seen a retraction from Mr. Deeson or any other the folks on other television stations. We've talked about it in a public meeting. I would move forward. That's just my thought on it. Other thoughts?
Mr. Chair, we have sent a note to the reporting stations that we know have published something yesterday. So we have sent a note to Channel 10, making them aware of this. But we didn't ask for them to retract their earlier story.
Commissioner Dayton?
Yeah, as far as I know, the Department of Homeland Security is completely aware of the campaign that was run and has expressed no problems with it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Related to that, and I'll get you, Mr. Vice Chair, I don't think we've met since we had the ruling from FDOT that totally exonerated PSTA. I did submit a letter to the editor just commenting on it, and that might be another way to address this with a letter, kind of open letter, stating the facts as Brad stated them. So if the board is supportive of that, I can go ahead and get that written up and
That's a
get
good
it out
idea.
there.
Yes.
Okay,
So that it's on the record.
okay, I'll do that. Mr. Vice Chair?
Just a comment about this general issue. I went to the Greenlight, or the Green Bench discussion last night down in the beautiful city of St. Petersburg. And as I was leaving, I was approached by an opponent of the Greenlight program, and he was handing out, or I was walking by him as he was saying, "Get the real facts on Greenlight." And I said, "Okay, I'll take one." And he said, "Well, no, I'm not going to give you one because you're just going to use this information against me." And so I responded, "Well, it must mean that there's errors in your facts then." And so we moved on.
Point well taken. Commissioner Newton?
I concur with you about the response that we're giving. All I can say is, as board members, you got to be advocates for it. You got to, knowledge yourself up, and any misinformation, if you have social media contact, just rebuke it. That's all you can do. They're going to print what they're going to print. They're going to say what they're going to say. It's First Amendment right. Ain't much you can do about that. And when they aim by the barrel, you're not going to win. As far as retractions, I mean, if 1 million people saw it the first time, and only 10,000 are watching the second time, what good does that do you? I think the truth will prevail. I think as board members, we should advocate strong and hard, relentlessly, without fail, to make sure that the people that we represent are well informed. I think that's our job, and that's what we should do. So I agree with your course of action. I think that's the way we should proceed forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Newton. Any other comments before we move on? Okay. Thank you for the update, Brad.